welcome to Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. I'm Jasmine. I'm your host for this fantastic conversation that is called Dream It, Dare It, Do It, Live the Life You Want. And today I am happy to have again my friend Stephanie Benedetto. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Jasmine.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I love your intro. It was very inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. I do my best. Uh, so, everyone listening, well, first of all, again, I want to thank everybody who is listening. I'm very excited with season 7. We got so many cool conversations, and I'm hoping this one's going to continue. Now, Stephanie, as you can see, oh, and you probably don't see it on the video, but her business is the awakenedbusiness.com. So, I'm going to start by saying, Stephanie, what is the awakenedbusiness.com?
It changes every day, Jasmine. It depends. Today, here's what it is. No, it's it sprung from this idea that your business can be a sacred vehicle of transformation for what you'd like to see in the world. It's the idea behind awakening. And I think that's because I've been drawn to these beautiful, heartfelt coaches and therapists and healers and people who have a real mission to make the world a more beautiful place through what they do. And so that's kind of the idea behind it. And as it's evolved, actually, even from the start, it was never about taking that seriously. Because actually, I see that too many of those people take the idea of business seriously and their calling. Like, I have to do this. And if I don't, something really bad's going to happen. It's like, what if this could be the most enjoyable ride of your life? Alive, thrilling, something you really want to be doing in a way you want to do it. Well, guess what? You can do that inside of your business. So that to me is what the multiple meanings of an awakened business and where that comes from.
You know, I use solopreneur, but soul Soul,
Mhm.
opreneur. And like for me, the definition of a solopreneur is somebody that is, exactly heart-centered. They have this beautiful idea of of doing something great in the world. And then, some of us are doing it, some of us are trying to do it, some of us are just like, oh, fuck that, I'm not doing it. Like we all have this different version of what it is, but I love that you're doing that with these people. And yeah, and I think, and it's not just like, lately people have been saying, oh yeah, but Jasmine, you only talk to solopreneurs. Yeah, no, I don't talk to only solopreneurs. I'm actually talking to people, you know, and even when I had a job, my job was my business. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but like when I was, employed, my boss was my client. It was kind of like, how do I serve, how do I serve the boss? What does he want? And what does the business want? And I was always, I'm boss. I was always like the person leading, even when I had a job. So like, it's not about the word, it's about, I think,
Mm.
what is it that you want in life and how do you want it? Some of us want to have a business, and some of us want to have a job. Some of us want to be freelancers that do the, like, we all have a different thing that makes us go, huh, that's what I want. You know, that's why I love the title, and that's why I talk about live the life you want, because there's a difference between what you think you want and a difference between what you really want, you know. And I think that when we when we connect to what we really want, our actions are driven from that, right? If you're not connected to what you really want, you're gonna be your actions are also gonna be, it's going to correlate to, "Oh, I don't know what I want." So you're just going to be like, oh, let me do that action. Let me do that action. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Don't get me wrong. I mean, how many of us have just thrown shit at the wall and hope what's going to stick, you know? It's okay. That's okay too. That's our way of learning, you know? Like, so yeah, I would love us to talk about that, about you. We were talking off camera and you brought that in your life, what's been showing up a lot, and it's showed up in my life as well, is kind of like, what if you were paid to be yourself? And I love that. And I think that all of us should aim for it. I personally think, like aim for it. But there's a misunderstanding, right? I think that when we hear that phrase, we think it's going to look like a certain way. How do we stand in that inquiry? How do we explore that phrase and go, that could be fun, but how do I do that? I'm a weirdo. How could I get paid for being a weirdo? I don't know. I'm just making shit up, obviously, because I'm a weirdo. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, that.
It's actually a lot simpler than it seems at first, I think, for a lot of people. And the only reason it's not as simple as it actually is for people is because they have a lot of thoughts about, like you were saying, what that might mean and what that might look like. If I'm being paid to be me, does that mean I'm like a dancing monkey and I have to run my tricks for people and I'm selling out? If I'm an artist, does that mean I have to somehow find a way for my art to make money for me? And the reason I see this as simpler than all of that is that I believe that everything we need, we already have. That we come equipped with this intelligence inside of us that guides us and provides for our every need, including being ourselves and being well provided for. And it comes from following what we know to be ourselves. So that's kind of the first question, I think, is like, if I'm going to talk about getting paid to be you, what does it mean to be you?
Yeah.
And I think at first, that's like, when do you feel most yourself? What is that like? What is the feeling of it? A lot of times people will associate it with something they're doing because they happen to feel themselves when they do something. But if you stay with that question long enough, you notice that it happens all the time. For me, the feeling of being me is relaxed in the flow. It can look like a lot of different things. Sometimes it looks like being absolutely goofy and weird and very playful and giggly and energetic. And sometimes it looks like resting quietly and just enjoying this beautiful feeling of being with my friend Jasmyne and life happening between us. But it's a feeling of being without a lot of me on my mind. I'm not thinking about myself. And that's what tends to trip people up in business, is they start thinking about themselves a lot. What does this mean about me? Am I good enough? Am I as good as the next person? Is this okay? Am I doing it right? Is this going to work? How am I going to do this? All of those things. But when you come back to simply being you and how that feels, you just kind of know what's yours to do. It's actually a lot easier to identify it. So, what I think about when I have this conversation with someone is, what do you love right now? What are you naturally doing as you? What do you find people come to you for without your inviting it? It just kind of happens. What would you like to do more of? Who do you like to hang out with? When you think about life, if you could have it anyway, and spoiler alert, you can, what would that be? And sort of engaging from that place of possibility and wonder. Because the really cool thing, this is true about life, but I see it in particular in business, and I think is part of why I love business, is that you get to make it up however you want. And we forget that because we've been told by parents and authority figures and the media and whatever that it's supposed to look like this, and this is how you're supposed to behave. And if you're in business, you're supposed to be serious, and you have to have a customer avatar, and you have to niche your business, and you need to focus on one thing. And then, of
Oh,
course, if you
God.
listen to the advice enough, it starts to contradict itself
Yeah, of course.
because it's all freaking made up. And if we're making it up, then that's great news.
Yeah, let's make it up our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling you that, that's what I do. I speak with clients. Now I help clients bring their vision to life, and I can see there are some clients that there's no vision. It's kind of like, well, there's a vision, but it's a vision that's
Mm.
the vision of what they think they should be doing, kind of thing. And I think that I'm getting better at going, okay, no, I don't, yeah, that doesn't feel right. Yeah, yeah, this just doesn't, yeah. You know? Um, and I think that it's good to sit down with ourselves and just, that's why I say dream it, dare it, do it, right? It's kind of like you want to sit down and dream it. I mean, I remember, and I quit my job when I was 31. I had a job. I'd been there for 10 years. And I just quit one morning. I was like, okay, can't do it anymore. I just can't. I hate this job. I hate going there. I just hate it. I wake up every day and I hate it. I'm like, what am I going to do all my life? I'm going to wake up and hate my job. I'm like, rather honestly, I'd rather live in the streets than and I shouldn't say that because I have no idea what that is, but I'm just saying it in the point in the spirit of, like, I'd rather be somewhere else than there. And when I came back from that, like when I was finally alone and I wasn't doing that job anymore, I kind of sat down and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be self-employed. I'm like, I decided I'm going to be self-employed. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do? So now I got caught in the, oh, I got to do a business plan. And I'm like, but I have no idea what. I'm like, here's my business plan. When I started working there, I knew how to do marketing. I knew how to do research and development. I knew how to do website. There was a bunch of stuff that I knew how to do. And you would laugh at seeing my business card because what I did, I put that on my business card is everything I did. My business card, there was like, you could barely say my name because there were so many things that I could do. But that's how it started. And at one point I was like, okay, well, how many hours do I want to work? How much money do I want to make? How many days do I want vacation? Where do I think I would be? Like, so I just started playing. Obviously, I was listening to everything out there. It's like, oh, I was following this guy, and this guy was like, you got to do your goals. You got to create your goals. Now you got to have your 1 year goal, your 5 year goal, your 10 year goal. You're like, and he was like, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I still have the book. Now, nowadays, I'm kind of seeing that it was all made up. Like I was literally making it up from nothing, right? And the more I moved through life, the more I could see that these goals were changing. And a lot of the times I was like, okay, but I can't go this way because I said I was going to do this.
Mhm.
right? I can't, but this is calling to me. I really would like to do this. No, you got to stick to your goals. You said this. And I suffered for a little while until I saw, oh, you know what? I changed my mind. And I remember my friends and family, because I changed my mind a lot. And I remember, being told, oh, you, Jasmine, you always have a project. Like the sarcastic, oh, yeah, what project do you have now? Yes, I did a lot of things in my life. I did. But I lived my life. I played. I had fun. I met people and I suffered. And I didn't suffer. Like it was kind of like me playing with life and just learning to see what it is that I truly wanted, you know. And in the end, what I truly wanted and what I still truly want is peace of mind and freedom. For me, that's what I came up with. And when I don't have peace of mind and I don't feel like I have freedom, I look within and I see who says you have no freedom and what's bothering your peace of mind.
I am really, I'm really glad you said that about what you really want, what you've discovered about what you really want. Because I think that that's a piece of it. It seems like there are two parts of this play that I get to do with entrepreneurs. And one is to help them see that they get to make up their business however they want and to give themselves permission to dream into that and be messy with it, be playful with it, be not perfect and unclear, because they will find, they will discover what it is to be them in business as they do it. You don't figure it out before and then do it. I mean, that you can deceive yourself into that by following somebody else's plan, but the real way it works is that you only learn it through doing it yourself.
I think
And that's,
I'm sorry to interrupt you because
yeah,
I really think that that is important. I think that we need to know.
yeah. And the truth is that we can't. We can't know how it's going to go. We can't know how it's going to turn out. But we can know what we know right now, which is enough. Like I say all the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm kind of joking. And it's not really true because I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I know what I'm doing right now. I know this step, the now step. I got that one. And that's enough because I take that step and then I've got another now step. And then there's a nest. And that's actually how something unfolds in creation, whether we tell ourselves that we already know and I have a plan, but that's what trips us up, because then the now step is to go right and our plan says we should have gone left. And well, here we are. What do you know now? So that's one piece that is really cool to notice, is that you get to make it up however you want and you don't have to know what that is. You can begin with what you do know, because I guarantee there's something that you know. It probably looks too small, too insignificant to be the big answer that people are looking for. And then the other piece, which is actually more impactful, I heard you speaking to it, Jasmine. And that's why I was really happy, because this is the heart of everything. It's like, what's that going to do for you? Like, why do you want that? Why do you want to create this business, do this kind of work with people, help this population, have these kinds of conversations? What is that going to do for you? And if you come down to it, you're going to find out that it's a feeling. It's the way we think it's going to make us feel. That's what we're really after. And as you've discovered, it's already available. Peace of mind and freedom is here. We don't have to wait to have a business for that. We don't have to wait for a certain amount of money in our bank account. We don't have to have our day look a certain way or work a certain number of hours or quit this job and start another one. It's right here. And the more I know that, I show up with my creation differently, because now I don't have anything on it. now that peace of mind I'm looking for, or that freedom, or that joy, I know where it comes from, and it's always with me, and it's created here inside of me. And I don't need to get any particular result in my life in order to have it. And so, how do I want to play it when there's nothing to lose, and honestly nothing to gain, except for the experience, which is pretty freaking cool, of seeing what I can pull off. I'm bolder, I'm more authentic, I care less about whether I get it right or whether I get the results that I want, and I have a lot more fun because there's nothing at stake anymore. There's no sense of pressure. And that doesn't mean that I live that way in every moment, but I know that I absolutely know that that's available. And so that's kind of the approach, is sort of like, all right, here, notice that what you really want, you already have. What you really, really, really want, like really notice that, not just conceptually, but get it. And then play at creating and discovering what it is you want to create in the world of form.
Yeah, here's a question for you. I'm sure you've had this question before. Um, so one of the things, so I have a girlfriend who listens to these podcasts. She's probably laughing now that I'm speaking because we were having a conversation. She said, "I love it when you talk about me and you never say my name, but you talk about me." I said, "Yes," but I said, "Most people probably think I have one friend because I only talk about her." So I think it's really funny, but I can hear her. I can almost hear her going, yeah, well, what I want to do is this, that, and the other, and it's not going to bring up any money. So I'm not going to be making any money. I need to be making money because I need to, contribute to the household. And like there's this whole fear around money. And I totally get it because I've had it. I totally get it. I've had it not long ago. I mean, with everything that's going on in the world right now, my business has slowed down, you know? Like I think that all businesses have slowed down, especially considering that all my clients were American. Like I have one client, one Canadian client. Everybody else is American or European, and I didn't have a lot in Europe. So it has slowed down. So when I saw that slow down, I'm kind of like, you know me, I've told you how many times, oh my God, my calendar is wall to wall. Now I'm like, wait, did I have a call at one? Like I'm kind of like considering how busy I've been, I'm kind of like sitting on my butt right now. Well, I went into a spiral for like a few weeks, going, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm going to wind up in the street. Like the spiral goes, you know, like you get one thought and from 0 to 100, living in the streets, like Wynn would say, living under a bridge in jail after that. And, so I totally get that conversation, but at one point I got connected to it's just not happening the way I think it should be happening. And because of that, it's kind of like it's put me in a space of paralysis. There you go. That was the French, mixing the French and the English. So I was just stopped. It was kind of like, it was like depressed and okay, let me go watch TV and, like you kind of like, it drains your life force, you know. And at one point I just said, no, just do you, just do what you do, be your creative self and go play. And that's how I'm like, for those of you who are listening, I'm creating a new YouTube channel called A Day in the Life of a Solopreneur. Let's, do the drops, or what do they call them? The name drops. Um, yeah, so now I'm like, I'm creative again and I'm playing again and I'm doing videos and I'm doing, I'm getting a bunch of ideas on how to do. And it'll be what it'll be. But it's kind of like just trust it's going to come when it's going to come. And right now, you're okay. The only time you're not okay is when you're in your head thinking about a horrible future where you're living under a bridge, right? That's the only time you're bad. If you're even, I spent the Tuesday in the hospital. Tuesday, I was talking with a client. I'm like talking to him. I get this hot flash, and I'm like, hold on, it's really hot here. Let me go open the window. So I go open the window. I come back. I sit down, continue talking to him, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm sorry, my back is hurting. So I stand up, because I said, let me just stand. So I stand up. Then I start having pains here, and then my computer shuts down. Like everything shut down. So I'm no longer in communication with the client. And I'm like, I'm starting to have, shortness of breath. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? Like, I've been healthy in the past few years. I've been working really hard at my health, and I've been walking, and I can feel myself. I lost 35 pounds. I feel so much better. And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? Am I going to have a heart? Now I'm like starting to freak out, and I live alone. And so now I went into my head, and I was like, okay, I shouldn't be alone. Who can I call? I have a girlfriend that lives near me that is trained in first aid. So I called her up, and I said, listen, I'm not feeling well. She says, what do you have? And then I tell her, and she's like, oh, that sounds like the heart. Oh my God, it's the heart. Stephanie, it was the heart. So I'm like, no, okay. She goes, I'm coming over. We have 811. I don't know if you have that wherever you are, but call 811 to get assistance and help. And they're like, you have a 45-minute wait. I'm like, well, screw that. Hung up the phone. And then I'm thinking maybe I should call 911. And, maybe this is, and I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling well. I'm really not feeling well. This is like, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well. Yeah, freaking out. So she comes on, and she goes, well, maybe Jasmine, I could bring you to emergency. And I'm like, hmm. Okay, let's go. Now I have the dog, I have like my life, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna take the dog, drop me off, I'll go there. So I wind up there. I got there at noon, and I left there at midnight. And within 45 minutes, I'm sitting in the room, and I'm going, I'm fine now. I'm like, all is good now. Could I go? Now my friend is with me, the friend that I talk about all the time. She's with me, and she's like, no, you're here, you're staying, you're gonna have the test. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna stay. So we're just, I just stayed there, and I had no thinking whatsoever. Like I was sitting there, and I'm going, well, shouldn't you freak out a little bit? Like you're in emergency. Like, yeah, but you're fine. Like it was like this whole thing going on in my head. She stayed with me for a while, then I was alone, and I had blank, nothing. It's like 4:30. Last time I ate was 9. I remember a time when I was like, well, now I'm hungry. I need to eat. What's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Like I would have had this whole noise going on. But it was about just trusting you're where you are right now and follow the nudge. Went in to see the doctor. Doctor says, did anybody in your family ever have vein issues? I was like, well, my father had aorta aneurysm. He's like, oh, okay, well, it says that changes my diagnosis. I'm like, what do you mean? He says, well, I was going to just have a blood test, but I think you should have an angiogram just in case. What if this is? And I'm like, okay, let's go. So I went to do the angiogram. In the end, nothing happened. Like there's nothing, right? He's like, your blood test was good, your heart was good, your angiogram was good, everything is good. If you don't feel good in the next few days, come back. And I'm like, okay. Everybody's asking me, what happened? What did you have? Nothing. There's nothing. That's it. But that was my day. That was a moment. And I went with it. Why did I get there? Why did I get to the story? I forget.
Mm.
I lost the train of thought now.
I think that's totally okay. You know, here's a connection that I'm going to make from your story. I
Mhm.
don't know if this is the one that you had in mind. There was a whole roller coaster ride in that experience for you, from fear and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what's going to happen and I'm making up all these horrible things that could happen, and then just being where you were at and doing the next thing that you knew to do to find out what you needed to do because you didn't know, to discover like, oh, okay, I'm fine, I'm actually okay. But you were okay in the whole roller coaster ride. I think the same thing happens to us in the journey of our business and the journey of life creation. Every single day, we're up and down, and we really don't know because we can't. But there's something that was with you through that whole process. I kind of heard it. Like you knew when you were freaking out. You
Yeah.
knew you were freaking out because you know that's not reliable. That is not reliable. This freak out panic. And then you're sitting and you're like, I'm okay. Like there you knew. And also, probably a good idea. I'm here. Let me just follow through. Let me follow through and see. But right now, I know I'm okay. I'm totally okay. Doctor wants some tests. I'm fine with that too. And the whole thing is, I don't know, when you have that sense that you're okay, no matter what, that what you're looking for, you already have, even when you forget, it just makes the whole ride a lot more fun.
Yeah. And you just know what to do. You know, like I had appointments. I was on a call with a client. I called the client and sent him a message and I said, "Hey, I'm going to go to the hospital. I don't know what's going on." I had a call, a couple hours later, sent the other person a message, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to the," had another call. I'm like, "Listen, I'm going," I
Mhm.
knew what to do in that moment and I was calm enough to do it. And okay, so it I might not have done it. Like there could be a time where you totally forget. You're like, no, no, I'm all about me right now. It was kind of like, but this was about me. For me, it was important that these people knew, what to address. So it's, and I remember we were talking about money. So I know that, there are things that happen to us that, right away, y- you just push them aside. Like when you need to do something that needs to be done, you do it. And all the made up shit that we have in our day-to-day life, like, okay, well, today I have to make money. I have to make money today. No, if you have to go to the hospital, trust me, the money is going out the door. Like that's not a thing, right? And so if we could really just get present to that and go, no, the money will come. It will come. I don't know if it's your experience. I don't know if have you had these kind of like battles with money where you were freaking out about it and all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, actually, I had a girlfriend that used to tell me, money always comes, Jasmine. That's what she would say to me. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? But it's true, money always comes. It doesn't come when I want it to come necessarily, but it always comes eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I have absolutely had so much thinking about money. And even in the last year and a half, I saw how much I had that I didn't even realize was going on. It came for me as avoidance because, and it wasn't until I saw this, right, that I caught on, but I would feel really stressed out when I looked at my financial situation. So I just wouldn't look at it because it looked like it was looking at my financial situation that was making me feel stressed, right? And then when I realized, oh, I'm okay, like really, no matter how much money I have in my bank account, no matter whether I know if money's coming or not, I started looking at my financial situation because now I wasn't afraid anymore. And I went, oh, I need to make some changes here. Really good. Really good to see.
Yeah, there's like common sense showed up.
Yes, exactly. Oh, okay, I just need to be about this now. I need to be about paying off my debt, creating more income, focusing on this stuff, whatever. Eh, Very practical, actually. And rather than freaking out, which I would have done in the past, and just get a little quiet and go, all right, what do I know to do? Because that intelligence we're talking about is live and engaged. It's here to help us get whatever it is we need and whatever it is that we desire. We just need to listen to it. It's not always screaming loud at us. In fact, usually it's kind of soft. And like, is it okay? Am I okay now? Yeah. Can I see when I freak myself out? Yep. Is that going to help me? Nope. Okay, so what do I know to do? And like inevitably things occur to me and I do what I know to do, whether or not it makes sense in the logic of my mind about this is a money-making thing or not. And then some of those things absolutely look like money-making things. And what I realized is that, oh, I know what to do to create money. Just go do those things. Like, I actually know that. I know that if I just talk to people and I have an open mind and heart, and I notice when I can help somebody, then that's all I have to do is talk to them and say, hey, I could help you with that. Would you like to have a conversation with me about it? That's it. Like, that's what it looks like to create a client. And to the question that you were asking earlier, that you were imagining your friend would be asking about, like,
Yeah.
oh, but the things I want to do aren't going to make money. It's like, so who says the money has to come from those things? And that you can't do them because you have to make money. See, we make up all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I do what I really love, I won't make money. If I'm making money, I don't get to do what I love. And I'm like, well, who says? And they don't even have to be the same thing. Like, there's such a, we contain multitudes as people, right? As a human, right? I love many things. You know how much time I spend in time and money invested in pole dancing, Jasmine? Do you
You
think
pole danced?
I do Poland? I have fallen in love with it. It was an impossible project that blossomed into an obsession. I freaking love it. And I'm a 40-minute drive away from the studio and I don't have a car, right? Like, how many, you better believe I get there. Does it make me money? Is it ever going to make me money? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not where I expect my money to come from, but that's one of the things that I love to do and I want to do. And I get to do it. And I'm clean on that. And I know I'm clean because I just do it. And I realized I wasn't so clean on money because I don't just do it. And it's just that simple. It's the same thing. It's like, I want to be about creating money. Okay. I know what to do. If I don't know what to do, I could explore what to do. There are people who can help me. Good God, there's AI now who can give you a million different ideas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The best thing is always going to come from what you kind of already know, what you're already drawn to. I mean, it's already happening. That's the thing that I come to with people. I'm like, all right, just talk to me for a little bit and I'll tell you I could point to where it's already happening. It's already alive in you. You already kind of know where you're headed. Even if you don't know where it's taking you, you got it, because that's just how it works. And you get a feel for that. And the more you get a feel for it, it's like living life as you becomes natural and easy.
Well, Stephanie, I knew that we were gonna have a good conversation, and I'm looking at the time, and I believe that we've come to our penultimate ending because I actually want to ask you something.
Oh
Is
no, so
there?
I don't have to, I hold back my tears. I'll
No,
wait.
not
I can
yet,
weep.
not yet. Hold on, it's coming. So what have you been doing? Like anybody that would be interested, like right now to talk with you, what's going on with your business? Do you have any events? Do you have, I think you have a membership
Mhm.
community. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you the first thing, that if anybody's intrigued by what they've heard from me or perplexed by it or just entertained by it, come and join my email list, because I am writing daily emails that are a constant delight for me. And I had no idea how rewarding this would be. And it's not about business. I mean, sometimes I talk about business. It's about being human. It's about spiritual discovery and exploration and insights and all of the things that are mixed here into this conversation I'm having with you, and a love of business and getting paid to be you. So that's the first thing. I'm having so much fun with it that I want to invite people to join me. The second thing that you might be interested in, and come get to know me through my emails if you don't know me, but this membership I have is called the Impact Membership. And it's really a place for us to come together as a community and create our lives, create our businesses, create our art in ways that light us up, and not let our thinking stop us. Like, notice that it never can, but we often stop ourselves. So we can be, and actually are, an unstoppable force of creation in our lives. And come join with a group of people who are doing this for themselves. And the collective wisdom is amazing. I also have, I join with three of my amazing friends every month. We do a free call called A Fresh Look at Life, and we pick a different topic. Some topics we've had are a fresh look at conflict, a fresh look at fear, a fresh look at habits. And we really just explore our assumptions and beliefs about things so that we can see something new. So that's a little bit of what's alive for me. And then, of course, I love to go on one-on-one coaching journeys with people in creating whatever it is that lights them up and discovering what that is.
Nice. All right, so the awakenedbusiness.com, guys, if you want to check it out. I'm going to put everything, the links, everything in the description, of course. So thank you again. Thank you for coming on, because I was so happy. It was like all of a sudden I get I'm going to see Stephanie. So thank you for coming on. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jasmine.
And so, yeah, that's it, guys. If you've enjoyed this conversation, please follow us any way that you want to follow us: social media, website, newsletter, do what you want to do. And at that point, I'm going to now say to dream it, dare it, do it, live the life you want. And I shall see you on the next episode. Bye bye, everybody.